welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic.
And you're new!
And we want to punch Jim Cornette in the face repeatedly until he bleeds because he's stupid. We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
And it went live, and we're live, and now we're live. Well, I mean, except for this is unlisted now, so it's not live, but it is live. But not when... Anyway, we are back for our second installment of our new six-pack series. This week, we are talking our six talent, I guess, that we would like to see WWE sign in the coming, months, years, whatever. But it's going to be talent that we don't already know is signed. Like, we can't say Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Obviously, those guys are already signed. So it's not going to be guys that, there's rumors that they're signed or we know that they're signed. These are guys that we would like to see, signed someday that we think would be, an asset to the company, or we just kind of want to see them in WWE for our own greedy pleasure. That got weird. But anyway, I'm going to start off. I do have two honorable mentions, and I put these guys in as honorable mentions because while I would love to see them in WWE, at the end of the day, it is WWE, and I feel like these two would unfortunately probably get lost in the shuffle of the mid-card, as a lot of talented guys usually get lost in the mid-card. Especially with Vince still in charge. But my two honorable mentions are Ricochet, a.k.a. Prince Puma, and TJ Perkins, a.k.a. Suicide. I just think, those guys, if they did actually bring back a cruiserweight division or some sort of division like that, I think these guys could really be an asset. They could both either, be good intercontinental champions. They could both be good U.S. champions. It would bring the, excitement back to kind of the mid-card that kind of gets, like I said, a lot of the really talented guys unfortunately get lost in the shuffle because at the end of the day, Vince is still in control and he kind of, he likes the big guys. He likes the main eventers. He doesn't really care too much about that mid-card, unfortunately. But did you have any honorable mentions? I know you were struggling on that sixth one, so I don't know if you have any other.
I think I just let them tie. I just put two at one, kind of two at one spot, I guess. All
right. Well, then I guess I'll go with my number 6 is going to be Michael Elgin. He is a bigger guy, but he's kind of a bigger guy, almost like Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, where they're bigger, but he can still get around. He's still really agile. He's a big guy, but you still get into his matches. He's still really good in the ring. He's not like right back. But yeah, DJ, you're 6.
Let's just say I had an honorable mention because I just thought of it. I would go with Donovan Dijak as an honorable mention, because he is a young guy, so it gives WWE the ability to create their own thing out of him. But he's also athletic. My only issue and why he didn't make my actual list is I don't think they'd use him correctly. They would use him as just a big guy. That's just a big guy. That's just a big guy. Because that's kind of how they do it. So I feel like that would kind of be my honorable mention. But now to number 6, or number 1, or number 6. I'm gonna go with one of your honorable mentions, which is Ricochet. When I was thinking about this list, I was thinking about this cruiserweight tournament thing and maybe what's gonna come out of it. If there's another title that's gonna come out of it or something like that. So I was thinking if there was a cruiserweight title, revamping, I guess you could say, I would love to see a guy like Ricochet do some things. I think Ricochet is one of those guys that WWE would definitely repackage. Any of the guys, which I think all of these guys, for the most part, are from Ring of Honor. I feel like WWE would repackage them. The reason I didn't pick a lot of TNA guys was because they have a lot of young talent now, not necessarily a lot of like veteran talent. So WWE wouldn't necessarily pick up on those guys. Plus, there are a lot of guys that WWE just didn't care about in the first place. So why would they pick them back up? Um, so I feel like Ricochet is a guy who would probably get a name change and probably get probably get repackaged and try a similar thing with what he does now, but he would probably end up being a WWE product, as we say. But that would be my number 6, I guess you could say.
All right. My number 5 is going to be Kenny Omega. Every time I see him wrestle or see a promo with him, I just kind of fall in love more because he's really good in the ring, but he has such charisma and, he's good on the mic. I'm surprised WWE hasn't tried to, unless they have tried to, and he just, didn't, agree to the contract or whatever. But I think he would be a really good asset to the company. Again, there are guys, hard as it is to believe, out there that don't want to sign with WWE. So he might just be one of those guys who wants to stay in like New Japan, Ring of Honor, kind of like the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are one of the few teams that are, pride themselves on, I guess, never going to WWE. But I think they could really use Kenny Omega really well. But yeah, I was gonna say something and then I lost it. It'll come back later. But number 5, DJ.
Number 5. I'm gonna mix my order of that I wrote them actually. Number 5, I think would be Moose. Because Moose is a guy I like a lot. But Moose is a guy that WWE would be like, oh my God, I love, or Vince, oh my, because that's kind of a guy, I think, former football player, and a big guy that's also, he has this athletic, quirky stuff about him, but he's still like a power guy, I guess you could say. So I would go with Moose. I think they could use him well. I think they would. That would be a guy that they would really go out to using well. Like you got like the smaller guys like Tyler Breeze that Vince is like, no, I don't want to use him. But like Moose is a guy that like would be like a guy that they could use well, and I feel like they would use well.
Damn it, Vince, use Tyler. He's been there he's made so much money for you already. Anyway, moving on. I'm sorry. I had to have a little bit of a tyrant there, I'm sorry. It wasn't a Cena rant though. It's okay. I think we're at 4. Lost track there for a second. 4. I'm gonna go with Roderick Strong. Another one of those guys that is not the biggest guy, but he has that presence about him. He's really good in the ring. I've said in the past he kind of reminds me of like Dean Malenko a little bit. And I think we kind of need, we need really good smaller guys, kind of like Roger Strong, who isn't necessarily a small guy. I think he's like 5'8", 5'9", or something like that, which, is average height, I guess, for, I don't know. I'm short, so I don't know. But I think, that would help to kind of, build up the roster in general. You can't always have, guys that are, 6'7", 6'8", that's just not, it's not gonna work. So I think a guy like Roderick Strong could definitely, come in and kind of change the landscape, I guess, of WWE if they signed him. Just with, a really talented guy who isn't, like I said, isn't the biggest guy, but, puts on really good matches. And they're slowly getting towards that a little bit, I think, with guys like AJ Styles, guys like Sami Zayn. You know, they're not the biggest guys, but you know, they put on amazing matches. But number 4 for me is, like I said, Roderick Strong. DJ, 4.
Alrighty. I wanted to pick a female since we're in this new women's division. So I went with Awesome Kong. And the reason I went with Awesome Kong is she never got her chance in the first place with WWE. So I feel like it would be, and plus she's not working for TNA anymore. So since she's not working for TNA anymore, I feel like it would be a good thing for her to go back to WWE and actually get her chance, because she didn't really get, like, she came in and it was a big deal for like that one night, and then she was just gone. I feel like they could have maybe did something with her. And maybe there's still a chance. That's all I was thinking. There's not many other women that I can think of, because once again, TNA is still in that really like young talent portion. So a lot of the people that I would like to go to WWE are still building themselves in TNA. So I think Awesome Kong would be the person I would go with.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put any females on my list just because there aren't really any that are established enough that I think would be really good. A lot of the good ones are coming from NXT, you know. But I mean, I would say maybe like a Madison Rayne could possibly, because she's really good in the ring. You know, I think she could fit into the women's division. You know, Gail Kim, obviously, she was already in WWE before. You know, I think, but anyway, moving on to my number 3 is a sort of and or tie. You know, they could sign one of them, both of them. You know, it's an option. We have the Motor City Machine Guns or Red Dragon. Both would be really good tag teams to add to the you know, tag team division that they're trying to build up. I was really excited this past yesterday. You know, they're starting a new tag team tournament to decide the number 1 contenders for the tag team titles. I was so excited, just because we've talked about wanting more tournaments and stuff like that to kind of, you know, spice it up a little bit. But either way, I think WWE definitely needs more tag teams, or at least to use more of their tag teams, which again, it feels like they're starting to do that now. But I think either, you know, Motor City Machine Guns or Red Dragon would be really, really good. Again, kind of would rather see them in Ring of Honor, just because I feel like they could do more in Ring of Honor, just with, you know, all the things you can't do in WWE anymore, obviously for, you know, safety, health reasons. But there's still these moves that we always want to see that are exciting that you can't necessarily see in WWE anymore. But that's my number 3. EJ.
I'll go ahead and move this one up, since your number 3 matches my number 3. Red Dragon and the Motor City Machine Guns. I agree with you. I feel like they make a great addition to the tag team division. I don't know. I was thinking, I was like, even the Wolves could be another one that I could add in just to make it a little bit different. Because I feel like there's a lot of tag teams that are really good as tag teams, that I would like to see kind of help out the tag team division in WWE. As far as Red Dragon and the Motor City Machine Guns are concerned, I feel like they would probably end up starting out in NXT, both of them. Just because obviously the Motor City Machine Guns hadn't been together for, they had like kind of taken that hiatus from each other for a little bit, as they were pursuing, you know, other singles careers in other companies and whatnot. But I mean, I think you know, Red Dragon, Motor City Machine Guns, the Wolves. I'm trying to think of any other ones. I would like to see the Addiction, or I can't remember the name anymore. But the Addiction, be be one. But I'm not sure about how Daniels is feeling about going to WWE, especially being his age.
Yeah. I think obviously, for the fans, it would be cool to see guys like Kazarian and Daniels in WWE. But then again, they are getting up there in age, and WWE's schedule is just so hectic that it's really demanding. More so, I feels like than TNA's or Ring of Honors. But moving on to my number two. My number two is Adam Cole, baby. How could you not want Adam Cole? Come on now. It's Adam Cole, baby. That's really all I have to say.
All right. I'll go ahead and move my number two to my number two. I will say also Adam Cole, baby. As soon as we were doing this list, I was like, yep, he's going on there. But I feel like Adam Cole's one of those guys that I don't know. It was kind of hard for me to say if WWE would like change him up and try to make him something different, because he's kind of built himself pretty well. So I'm kind of wondering about about that if they were to sign him. But I feel like Adam Cole would be a good addition to WWE. I'm not sure if he would win the world title because WWE and people who are talented and win the world title doesn't go together. So I'm not sure if that would happen per se. Especially like smaller guys more so, not necessarily people who aren't talented. More so the smaller guys, and Adam Cole's kind of in that mid range. He's not like really small, but he's still a smaller guy. So I think Adam Cole would be a good addition. Personally.
I agree. And we are finally at our number one spot. Who did we decide deserves it the most? Who should go to WWE? My number one is going to be the cyborg, the Olympic gold medalist, the only Olympic gold medalist in professional wrestling history. That's right, Gable. I'm sorry. It's you came close. You did. I love you. Ready, Willing, and Gable. You came close. You did, but you didn't win it. But anyway, Kurt Angle. A lot of fans want to see him back after he left TNA. They want to see him back in WWE at least for a short run. Not it doesn't have to be a super long run. Even if he signed like a Legends deal or something like that, I think seeing him kind of like the Dudleys are right now, just putting over younger talent, kind of lending his knowledge to the younger talent. Maybe even put him, have him train train some of the talent in NXT. Especially his style of wrestling. How he incorporates a lot of the amateur stuff in with the professional wrestling. I think that would help a lot of the younger guys. But it just if nothing else, for the nostalgia factor of having Kurt Angle back, I think would be really cool. Kind of like the Dudleys are back, and it's kind of just fun for the older generation now who grew up with them in WWE. But yeah, that's my number one. Let's see what DJ's is. Is it Rockstar Spud? It's Rockstar Spud, isn't it?
It's not. But my number one. In the ICWP Six Pack episode 2 is Jay Lethal. I'm gonna go with Jay Lethal. He is a guy who has really impressed me in Ring of Honor. I know Casey doesn't like him because racist. But anyway, and sizist. Jay Lethal's just too big for him. That's what it is. But I think Jay Lethal's really impressed me. He wasn't going to be my number one, but since you decided to throw Adam Cole and machine guns and all that, he just happens to be my last one on the list. But I I think Jay Lethal has impressed me. I've liked him throughout his career, but I think he's really impressed me during this singles run as the world champion. Still, your reigning anyway. And I feel like he's also the greatest first generation wrestler of all time. So that always helps, just building that resume. But yeah, I feel like Jay Lethal's one of those guys that I still feel like um, WWE would try to change up. I don't think he's like got the star power yet. The star power for WWE. And I was kind of wondering about like guys like the Briscoes, too. They were kind of going through my mind a little bit. Would if they brought in the Briscoes, I know the Briscoe is kind of you know a very popular name, I guess you could say, in wrestling. So I kind of wonder if they would kind of change them up if they were to sign them. Um,
I mean, I guess you could bring Jay Lethal in there. I mean, he's okay. He's all right. Like Machismo, though. If they did that, if they that I would.
They already tried it with Macho Man now.
That's what they need to do. They need to bring him in and team him up with yes. It would be great. It would be great. Sandow and Lethal. I can see it now. I don't even but anyway, yeah, I don't know what they would do with a lot of these guys. I feel like they would repackage them because they're not, to WWE, they're not big enough names. To wrestling fans as a whole, I think a lot of these guys are pretty big. Especially if you're a TNA fan or a Ring of Honor fan. A lot of these guys are really big already, but for WWE standards, obviously, most of these guys they would probably repackage, or at least change their name somehow. But then again, they didn't change Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, so maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. It kind of it would just have to be something we'd have to see. But I think any of the guys that we named could be good in WWE, to kind of help usher in, I guess, the new sort of phase they're trying to go for. They were talking about for a while going into the reality era, getting away from the PG era so much, but I don't know what they're doing with that. But definitely, they need to. I feel like they need to start, not depending completely on just guys that they build up themselves in NXT, and not completely depending on their current roster that's kind of getting up there. I mean, even I know I'm trying not. I'm legitimately trying to be more tolerant of John Cena. I really am. But the fact is, he has been there for a long time now. Randy Orton's been there for a long time now. Big Show's been there for a long time now. Kane's been there for a long time now. To retire, you can't. They're not going to be there forever. So you are going to have to build up, and bringing other guys who already have a lot of experience would help you too.
I mean, technically, they don't have experience. WWE.
That is true. You don't have a history in WWE except for the history WWE gives you. I mean, unless you're like AJ Styles or somebody big enough already, then you have the Indies experience. They won't say any specifics, but the Indies. Except I was surprised. Kind of going off topic a little bit when Anderson and Gallows debuted on Raw. They actually mentioned, New Japan, which was kind of surprising. I didn't think they would mention New Japan. And freaking Michael Cole screwed up IWGP. How do you mess up 4 letters? I'm done. Fire him. But anyway, that's my little rant on. I will try, like I said, to be more lenient on John Cena, but Michael Cole gets no special treatment. He is a douche and needs to be fired and replaced with a fish tank. That is my ruling, and my ruling is law. Anyway, but yeah, that was our 6 to 9 talent, whatever, that we think should be signed to WWE in the future. Next week, let me look and see what we might be doing next week for the 6-pack. I think we might do the game repackaging. Basically, we were talking about this a little bit. Old, not necessarily all old, but past WWE games that we would like to see. Obviously this will never happen, just because WWE doesn't want to put money into, they want to put money into the new games and stuff like that. And obviously there's so many talent in these, so many wrestlers in these games that, they have been gone for a while. Some of them, like Chris Benoit, would be.
You can't even go back like before Here Comes after Here Comes the Pain or anything. Like it's like a weird.
Obviously, they probably still have the rights to the names and stuff like that, so they probably could, but I don't know. But
can they just take someone out? Like, can they, like, if they really didn't want Benoit to be in it, couldn't they just take him out?
They could. But anyway, basically video games that we would like to see, them kind of repackaged for the, the next gen systems that we would like to play again. Obviously, there's ways around it. There's ways to play the old video games, but, it would just be easier if they would just, repackage them. We're going to kind of go over top 6 that we would love to see, if they ever did that, which obviously, like I said, they won't. But, this is what we want, WWE. This is what we want. But anyway, that's going to be next Tuesday. I'm proud of us. We kept this on Tuesday for the 2nd week. We're going to go for the 3rd week and the 4th week and the 5th week. But we're probably going to make it to next week, and then it's going to be off schedule again. And I don't know. But anyway, follow for more content. Subscribe. Follow the Twitter. Like the video. Comment on the video. Share the video. Go check out other videos that we do. Go to other channels that we like.
Like those ones that we didn't put out until like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Last week was a weird week for us. Okay, we were recovering from WrestleMania. That's what it was. That's going to be our excuse. But anyway, go check those out. Go check out Up Up Down Down, because it's an awesome channel and I'm slightly obsessed with it. And so, but we will see you on the dippity that might be flippity, maybe, possibly, we'll see. But we will see you on the next episode of the thing that we do, which is the podcast.